the Big 12 has announced the conference slate for men's basketball for the 2024-2025 season. And the Big 12 did put out, the opponents were selected based on a combination of geography, historical results, and a poll of the coaches to best balance the schedule in terms of travel and competitiveness. Of course, later on, we will know what days all these games are on and what TV station, as well as what times and everything. So I want to scroll down to the men's, and I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff, especially when it's like 16 teams I have to go over, and which teams are at home, which teams are away, and which is both. So Arizona is the first school I'm going to go over. Home and away, Arizona State, Baylor, BYU, Iowa State, and Texas Tech. Home only, UCF, Colorado, Houston, TCU, and Utah. Away only, Cincinnati, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. Now Arizona State's the next team. Home and away, Arizona, BYU, Colorado, Kansas State, Texas Tech. Home only, Baylor, UCF, Houston, Iowa State, TCU. Away only, Cincinnati, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Utah, and West Virginia. Now Baylor, home and away, Arizona, Cincinnati, Houston, TCU, and Utah. Home only, UCF, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. Away only, Arizona State, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, Texas Tech. Now BYU is the next team, school I'm going to go over. Home and away, Arizona, Arizona State, Cincinnati, Utah, and West Virginia. Home only, Baylor, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. Away only, UCF, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, and TCU. UCF is the next school I'm going to go over. Home and away, Colorado, Iowa State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, TCU. And yes, this is 20 conference games, by the way, for the men only. Not the women, just the men. Now, home only, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, Kansas State, and Utah. Away only, Arizona, Arizona State, Baylor, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. Man, that's a lot going west on the road slate. Cincinnati is the next school. Home and away, Baylor, BYU, Kansas State, Utah, West Virginia. Home only, Arizona, Arizona State, Kansas, TCU, Texas Tech. Away only, UCF, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. Now Colorado, home and away, Arizona State, UCF, Iowa State, Kansas, and TCU. Home only, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and West Virginia. Away only, Arizona, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and Utah. Houston, home and away, Baylor, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, West Virginia. Home only, BYU, Cincinnati, Iowa State, TCU, and Utah. Away only, Arizona, Arizona State, UCF, Colorado, and Kansas State. Now Iowa State. Home and away, Arizona, UCF, Colorado, Kansas, and Kansas State. Home only, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, TCU, and Utah. Away only, Arizona State, Houston, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. Now, Kansas, home and away, UCF, Colorado, Houston, Iowa State, and Kansas State. Home only, Arizona, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. Away only, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, TCU, and Utah. Now, Kansas State, home and away, Arizona State, Cincinnati, Iowa State, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. Home only, Arizona, Colorado, Houston, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. Away only, Baylor, BYU, UCF, TCU, and Utah. Oklahoma State, home and away, UCF, Houston, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Utah. Home only, Arizona, Arizona State, Cincinnati, Colorado, and Iowa State. Away only, Baylor, BYU, Kansas, TCU, West Virginia, Now, TCU, home and away, Baylor, UCF, Colorado, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. Home only, BYU, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, and Utah. Away only, Arizona, Arizona State, Cincinnati, Houston, and Iowa State. Now, Texas Tech, home and away, Arizona, Arizona State, Houston, Oklahoma State. TCU, home only, Baylor, UCF, Colorado, Iowa State, and West Virginia. Away only, BYU, Cincinnati, Kansas, Kansas State, and Utah. Now, Utah, home and away, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia. Home only, Arizona State, Colorado, Kansas, Kansas State, and Texas Tech. Away only, Arizona, UCF, Houston, Iowa State, and TCU. Now, West Virginia is the last school in the Big 12 I need to go over. Home and away, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, TCU, and Utah. Home only, Arizona, Arizona State, UCF, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. Away only, Baylor, Colorado, Kansas, Kansas State, and Texas Tech. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 700 subscribers. Of course, the ultimate goal is 1,000 or more. So make money out this. Of course, like a video, comment a video. Really helps YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well so more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe buttons, hit the notification bell as well.